So, you're thinking about buying a beach house along Atlantic Avenue in Wells, Maine? Well, in this video, we're going to take you up Atlantic Avenue and discuss what makes this area of Wells unique. And if you stick around after that, we'll get the drone out and we'll fly over the beach houses to get an idea of how well they're weathering the storms in southern Maine. We'll do that both on the north end by the jetty and on the south end down at the beginning of Atlantic Avenue near the public parking. And we're going to get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to our channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about living in southern Maine, then click subscribe and tap the bell so that you'll be the first to know about the current market in southern Maine. We get calls and text messages every day from people just like you looking to move in 9 days or 90 days. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or our favorite, schedule a Zoom. We're happy to help you make that smooth move to southern Maine. Okay guys, just came off Route 1 down the Mile Road, straight ahead's the ocean, public parking to get to the beach there. And we're going to take a left right here and go down Atlantic Avenue. There's a street sign. So Atlantic Avenue is mostly residential. The places on the right, there's a couple of hotels here at the beginning, but it's mostly residential the whole way. And on the right there are oceanfront, and on the left there are some neighborhoods back there. You'll see some side turns, but mostly a lot of those properties are on the marsh. Now, what I want to point out about Atlantic Ave right away is the numerous public ways, right? There's public way right there, number one. There'll be another one coming up. There's 16 public ways on Atlantic Ave. And if you're buying on the left, that's a big deal because some of the other beaches like Ocean and Webb Hannet don't have necessarily public ways for the residents that are on the left. So you want to make sure you know where your right of way is going to be to the ocean, because if you're renting the property out, that's going to be a big deal to them. They're almost always going to ask, how far are you to the beach? How far a walk is it? There's another public way right there. So keep that in mind. Atlantic Avenue is really set up well for that. Now, a little bit different about Atlantic Ave, you're going to notice that the properties compared to some of the other areas in Wells that are on the beach, houses are closer together and they're packed in more. On the right-hand side, for example, you see a beach house on the right, but there's another beach house like that one right there, right in front of the beach house. And look, here's, three more. They're really close to the road, and that's because back before they had there's a public way right there too, before they had good zoning in place, another public way, people would just basically cut up their property and pack in more houses. Like, look, there's another one on the right before the beach house and another one. So, that's typical for Atlantic Ave. Tighter construction. Still, these houses are worth incredible amounts of money. Anything on the right, north of $1 million, $2 million if it's going to be right on the water. On the left, it's going to be down from that, under $1 million, or $1 million if it's a new construction. Another public way right there. Now, what I want to point out here is pretty quick. The road is going to turn left. And the public way, what's happening here is the houses on the right are starting to get more beachfront, or in some cases more dune. And what that does is it gives them more protection from the storms, because, there's some erosion on these beaches. Now, every single summer, several feet of sand will come in, but then it'll wash out every fall for the winter and come back again in the spring. Another public way right there. These houses on the right here, before we get to the end, there's actually quite a walk across the dunes. Still absolutely gorgeous. You get more birds. A great investment. So this is public parking. You'll have to pay for it in the summertime. What we're going to do is get out and get the drone. Look at all the dune. Absolutely beautiful. You get some birds out there. It's a cool area. Now, all of that is protected. So you're supposed to stay out of that area for the most part. But these places all have a path to get down to the beach. You can see a path right there. And as we go more left, you're going to notice less and less dune. And you saw that turn in the road when I pointed that out when we were getting close to the end of Atlantic Ave. It turned left a little bit. So a lot of these houses are old. Some of them, fairly new in the last, 5, 10 years, new construction. And what you're not seeing that you saw on ocean, and if you watch my Crescent Beach videos where the water actually goes right to the seawall. So look at all that dune. Wow. Right? So we're all the way back out to about high tide right now. What we're going to notice in a minute, when we get further to the left, we're going to see where Mother Nature had a bad storm and it just wiped out part of the dune. Look at this huge area right here. So, that happens. And, they may have had some water damage back when that happened. So I see a new seawall on that house directly in front. Now, as we pan more to the left, you're going to find less and less dune, right? Because of that, when I mentioned when we were getting close to the end of Atlantic Ave, we were moving left because of the dune. So there you go. So as we pan all the way to the left, you can see that high tide is making it almost to the seawall on those houses. In some cases, if we get closer to Forbes, it does go, right to the wall. We're very close to it. So now we're going to head back out to the jetty, and I'll show you what it looks like looking up the jetty. The harbor will be another video. What I want to point out right here is that this, if you're a surfer, the break here at the jetty is actually pretty good. So you'll see surfers year-round parking at the end of the Atlantic Ave and taking advantage of a break if they're breaking well out here. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this video, and what we're going to do is we're going to head down to Forbes and take a little bit of video at that end of the beach to give you a nice comparison between different ends of Atlantic Ave. Okay, guys, I came down Mile Road, and I parked right there in the public parking. So all these rocks typically get covered for the most part by sand, by the end of July. There's still some exposed rocks, so if you're swimming right in front of the parking area, you could stub a toe, so you may want to travel just a little bit, up the beach before you head out into the ocean if you want to try and body surf or something like that. So pretty obvious here, high tide's making it all the way to the seawall in some of these cases. As we travel more towards the jetty, you can see the high water mark. It's not going all the way to the seawall, but it does sometimes, and especially during storms, because you can see those rocks that are piling up. So this is the end of March when I filmed this. And if they're leaving their stairs out like that, they're not having problems like they do on some of the other beaches in Wells with storms coming up on a regular basis and basically wiping out the stairs. So you cannot leave your stairs out year round like this in all areas of Wells Beach. You just can't do it. And look, those people don't even really need stairs because, it's just a short drop off of the seawall. So you can see the seaweed rather, real close to the seawall. So the tide's making it up that far. Okay, guys, I hope you found that information on Atlantic Avenue informative. And remember, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom. And until next time, we hope to show you around town.